Welcome to Newmon Calypso. So, Helldivers 2 dropped a secret new update the other day, and I've just been so busy I hadn't had a chance to really talk about it too much. But they basically dropped in the Illuminate with no warning at all, and it took everybody by surprise, me included. I was working, and last thing I look at my phone, and then all of a sudden there's Illuminate attack. Fight them off, they're taking our people. So the cool thing about the new faction is they're kind of a combination of the Illuminate from Helldivers 1 and the Illuminate from Helldivers 2 are kind of fused together into a new thing. So the Illuminate now have been taking over citizens, and so like their Chaff enemy, the easy to kill enemy, kind of like how the automatons have the basic robots and the bugs have the, scavengers and hunters that are kind of the Chaff. They don't take many bullets to kill, but they can swarm you. Well, the Illuminate didn't really have too much of a Chaff enemy in the first game. It was kind of just their basic infantry. They'd hit you with stabs, but they've shaken things up a bit. So now the Chaff enemy is our own citizens. The Illuminate have been stealing our own people, squidifying them, turning them into horrible abominations, and they look like gray-blue versions of the Flood. And that's part of the reason that I decided to throw on some of the Halo mods for this first playthrough against the Illuminate, because I was like, alright, it's a dark, gloomy night, there's horrible aliens attacking, and it just fits the vibe of New Mombasa perfectly. So I threw on the Halo Reach ODST armor from one of the mods and some Halo weapons, and was just having a good time fighting through the city streets like I was playing the very first mission of Halo 3 ODST. And going back to the Illuminate enemies, they have now turned their Illuminate actual creatures, those actual aliens, into the elite enemies. So they have currently 2 different Illuminate types of infantry. There is the Elevated Overseer, which they fly around like freaking jetpack monsters and shoot at you with laser cannons and throw grenades at your face. And they're not very accurate. I think this isn't the full Illuminate roster, so they may have deadlier units that are going to come later. This is kind of like everything up to Chargers or everything up to Hulks from the other factions. Like, they're missing their high-tier units, and I'm imagining it's going to be some units very similar to Helldivers 1. But the jetpack unit, they fly around you, they can swarm you, and they kind of just shoot at you and throw grenades. And the thing about the Illuminate is they don't seem to have their accuracy very high. But when they do hit you with their weapons, they hit like a truck. Most things are only a few hits to kill you. And they almost always do injury damage if you get meleeed by them. And the melee is what's really interesting about this new update, because we had melee kind of added with the bayonet. And I think they've kind of taken that bayonet system and just very easily moved it over to a spear weapon for this new launch, where you just impale enemies with a stun lance. Kind of shocks them and stops them from hitting you for a moment, as well as a stun baton that you can now use and reenact your Riot Police dreams with a ballistic shield and a stun baton as you beat up some aliens like you are on your way through Half-Life 2. So, with the rest of the Illuminate enemies, they have the jetpack ones, and then they have just the normal infantry ones, and they have a spear that can launch projectiles at you, and they hurt really bad, but they can also get really angry like a Halo Elite when you break their shields, and they just charge at you. They just come running at you and try to beat you to death with their staff, and if they hit you, knocks you over, does a lot of injury damage, they're probably going to take you out. So you have to dive and dodge away from those melee guys, but from there's only a few other enemy types currently. They have the Watcher that tries to float around you, and if it spots you, it'll flash you with this kind of disorienting purple color, and that will call in reinforcements, and they'll come in on their UFOs and drop in a bunch of new units. But the next unit that is just like exactly what I wanted it to be is the Harvester, but we just kept calling it the Strider from Half-Life, or, the War of the Worlds tripod. And these used to be one of the common enemies for the Illuminate in Helldivers 1, and now they've kind of turned into the Charger or Hulk enemy. They're huge, terrifying, three-legged weapons platforms that march through the city and launch lasers and electricity at you, and they have this really incredibly powerful, it's somewhat powerful. It's not like it's not a super unit, but they have this energy shield that kind of, if you shoot rockets into it, if you shoot AT into it, it's a waste because it takes volume of fire to break the shields. So the best methods that I've seen is just dumping a magazine of AR or LMG or energy weapon damage, just something that hits with a high fire rate over and over and over again. That will bring the shields down, and then you hit it in its vulnerable spots with explosives. And for the Strider, or Harvester, the three-legged giant alien mech that's trying to laser blast you into oblivion, you can shoot it in the knee joints of its legs, blow off one of the legs, hey, it's a stool. You knocked out a stool leg, it's fallen to the ground. Or you can aim for its face, so its eye, and hitting that area. If you're hitting a little above or below the eye, I think you'll destroy the weapon systems. And then if you hit the eye itself, it'll be the quickest way to take it down. And certain weapons like the railgun will puncture straight through the eye and kill it instantly. A lot of AT weapons, once you hit it in the eye, it does a lot of big damage. Quasar Cannon I was having fun playing with in one of these matches because I swapped out the model for a Spartan laser, and I was having fun just Spartan lasering these creatures right in the eye. But that's kind of it for the Illuminate roster for now. They will probably have a lot more in the future. I'm imagining we're probably going to get the Counselor, which is basically just a Illuminate mage. They're going to be casting spells and throwing magic at you with the intent of destroying democracy. And then there was also, in Helldivers 1, there was this heavy unit that put up these barrier walls that locked you in place and made it really hard to get away from them. And you'd kind of get locked in an arena and be forced to fight, and I can see that being absolutely terrifying in this new version of the Illuminate, because basically they have zombie hordes that come after you. They have the melee units that are very armored, the Illuminate Overseers that are going to charge you. And then if they come up with that wall creating unit that traps you in a certain square, you're going to get swarmed by monsters and have to make a last stand all over the place until you knock out those heavy units. So I'm looking forward to the rest of this Helldivers 2 development. I wasn't expecting an update, and I recommend you guys jump on and play it. So thank you for joining me. I've been Gorba, and please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to keep making more and more content throughout the year here. Bye.